Small changes to the current creel protocol that we've got going on can lead to changes on the small individual lake scale, but then also allow us to gain major management inference on a larger scale. Now it's back. So as we focus in, I mean, the majority of talks today are about anglers and what we can really do to get angler research moving forward. And like I've talked about, I think in my eyes, what I'm going to focus on in the future is how we can transition from just this individual lake system angler surveys to these larger scale society level angler surveys and being able to gather information on that level. One other, and I think the means of doing that are shifting to a more internet-based observational type surveys instead of either in-person creel or internet or mail-based surveys of the fishing population. So one other thing from my dissertation that I haven't talked about that I think is relative to this is I used another technique called network analysis for movement patterns among anglers in the Salt Valley region of Nebraska. I think this has some major implications for regional fisheries management and angler participation as a whole. In this case, the circles are lakes, the lines are the number of anglers essentially moving between lakes. And you can do some cluster analysis techniques on it, and you get two different groupings. The small group the blue group is a bunch of small reservoirs. The red group is larger reservoirs. However, these are spatially laid out, so the anglers are not really selecting based on location of lake at least. But then if we take this the next step further and look at angler typology based on skill, we can start driving this down even farther. And these on the left, anglers are very amateur, how they rated themselves, amateur anglers. They are actually making decisions based on reservoirs that are very close to them. They're only going to reservoirs that are nearby. And then once you start increasing the along this gradient of skill, they shift more to that just general pattern that we were seeing, where they go to either the large water bodies or the small water bodies. So as last thoughts, I guess I just kind of want to end this with a big question of where do we want to be in 30 years? Do we still want to be doing these in-person surveys and information gained through these large-scale mail surveys? I think the answer to that is, of course, yes. I mean, I think we have to be doing that, as well as perhaps doing other things in conjunction with that. And I put this up kind of in jest, out with the old, in with the new. I don't really think that's right. So I think we do need to keep those surveys going just to verify some of the things that we can gather with these other techniques. But I do think that we need to keep pushing kind of the envelope and going through these kind of coming up with these new ideas and pushing it, trying these new techniques to see if they work on a larger scale, and then try management at that level. And that's all I have. So.